Hey everybody, Nick here, and I wanted to real quick answer a viewer question about Chinese-made knives. Hao Chen Yu just asked, saying, Nick, what's your take on Chinese-made knives? Sorry for what I did to your name there, but I'm happy to oblige. First off, I'm not going to wade into the geopolitical question of whether Taiwan and China are one entity or not, but I will say that Taiwan's making some great knives. Spyderco's got the Taichung factory there. Cranked out the Sleesh Bowie, recently the Spyderco Nirvana. There's some great knives being made in Taiwan too. The other thing I want to say is that there are a lot of really crappy Chinese knives out there. The Z Hunter comes to mind. This one is very proudly made in the China, custom design, you know. Or the Monster Hunter is wearing its sticker with pride. But anyways, I'm not going to talk about crappy Chinese-made knives because there are crappy knives made everywhere. So, okay. When I was growing up, it was the case, at least in the States, that Chinese-made goods were just generally junk. Sure, they would do the trick, but they would do the trick for 2 or 3 weeks, and then they'd fall apart, and then you'd buy another one that was also $5 or something like that. And that's still, of course, the case for some things, but this led to a generalized impression, I think, for a generation or two, that Chinese-made equals crap. And so the idea of a $375 Chinese knife was absolutely absurd for a long time. But then companies have been kind of wearing that down a little bit. So Kaiser was one of the first to jump in there. This is a Kaiser Velox 2, and it's made in China, but it's made with really good materials, and that's been Kaiser's shtick. They take really nice materials, titanium, S35, steel, whatever. They use good fit and finish, make good actions, and the end results are pretty compelling generally. So another Kaiser here, the Kaiser Splinter. But Kaiser really, I think, in some ways led the charge, but there have been other companies since that have proved to American knife buyers, at least, that Chinese-made knives can be really good. Another example of this would be Rayot. Rayot is a company that I don't even know when they came on the scene, but either way, they made a big splash because they're shipping knives with great fit and finish and great action. This is the Rayot Wave. It's one of their newer ones, and it's a great, great knife. It is really pretty exceptional in terms of the action, and the materials and fit and finish are pretty damn good too. So this is a good example of the fact that you can get a really high-quality knife that is worth the $375. That's made in China. They also are doing the Steelcraft Bodega. Oh man, is that a nice knife. They're doing a lot of good work. So it's now become kind of more widely understood that Chinese-made knives can be really good. And, in a lot of ways I like that. Now, hear me out, guys. It's not the case that I'm cheering against American manufacturers. I'm not rooting for the home team. Of course I am. I want American manufacturers to do well, just like Chinese folks want Chinese manufacturers to do well. But the thing is, I think it's better all around if there's strong competition, and more importantly, if quality gets divorced from nationality. It's not the case that good knives need to be made in any one place in the world. It's simply not the case. If somebody gives a damn, they can give a damn in New Zealand and China and Taiwan and Pakistan, whatever, and come up with something pretty compelling. And so I like that increased level of, frankly, competition. I like the fact that Rayot, for instance, is competing on quality rather than just on price. I like the fact that this is a $375 knife that commands that price, that's reasonable in that way. And so it's competing with American-made $375 knives. It's competing with everywhere. And as a result, the net quality tends to go up in a situation like that. And also, there's a push for value. So I like that. The other thing I like about divorcing quality from nationality is that it's much easier for the companies in the U.S. or anywhere else that give a damn. Because right now there are companies in the States that are made in the U.S. of A. They're very, very proud of that, but they're making products with really bad quality control, fit and finish, tolerances, or just that are plain bad. And in a lot of ways, I think they're banking on the idea, that the image that, made in the USA must be good. And that sucks, because it cheapens made in the US of A as a brand, as an idea. And it's kind of a rip-off to the companies in the U.S. who do give a damn. And there are lots of good companies making knives in the U.S. You've got your ZT, you've got Spyderco makes some knives in the U.S. The PM2 is among them. Alamec Cutlery, I've got one on my review table right now. This is a great knife, and they're made in the U.S. of A. in California someplace, I think near Google. But anyways, so I like the fact that if you're competing on quality, it's not the case that a crappy American company has an advantage. They're just crappy again. And so that's nice. And so there will always be, in my mind, a bit of a premium commanded by an American-made knife, because I'm supporting the guy down the street rather than the guy across an ocean. No offense, guys across the ocean. But at the same time, I am really happy to see the number of really excellent knives coming out of China, coming out of Russia for that matter, coming out of a bunch of places, because I think it's kind of healthy for the market overall. So my take on Chinese-made knives is that there's still a lot of crap out there. There are a lot of knockoffs. That's got to slow down. But there's also these really incredible knives coming out from China right now that are really pushing the envelope in a lot of ways on value and just in general. And I do appreciate that, and I do respect the heck out of that. Kaiser, Rayot, WE knives are doing something pretty excellent. And it is clear to me that no matter where they are in the world, they give a damn. And at the end of the day, nationality's a bonus. But what I'm really looking out for in the world is somebody who gives a damn about their craft. And that can be found anywhere on Earth. And I'm glad that the Chinese folks are doing that in the same way that the Americans are doing that, the Germans, the Italians, whatever. So I hope that's interesting and helpful for you. Thank you very much for the question. And have yourselves an absolutely wonderful rest of the day, no matter where in the world you are, as long as you're made with quality. Or at least you're trying to be quality no matter how you were made. Bye now.